Good morning, everyone. This is the group that is assigned to discuss the topic polarization. So first, let me introduce to you our group members. First is Ms. Shanea Joy Ramirez. Next is Ms. Mariel A. Pineda. And yours truly, Mr. Carl Angelo Di Ramilo. So before we start our discussion, let me read the objectives to you. At the end of the lessons, the students should be able to, first is to define polarization and explain how it occurs. Compare and contrast the different types of polarization. Explain the methods of polarization and its application. So first, let us define what is polarization. From our previous topic with Sir Arman, we have already tackled polarization. So to freshen up, let me define again what is polarization. Polarization is the process by which light waves vibrate in a single plane, resulting in oriented electromagnetic waves. So for better understanding, we have provided a picture to you. So yan. So as you can see, polarization is a process by which we convert unpolarized light to polarized light using a polarizer. So what is unpolarized light? When we say unpolarized light, it is a light wave that is vibrating in more than one plane. So unpolarized light, more than one plane siya. Ang example nito is yung sun. 'Di ba? Hindi naman siya isang diretso lang, kalat siya. The light is scattered. So next one is the polarized waves. So polarized waves are light waves that is vibrating in a single plane only. Kung yung ang polarized light is vibrate more than one plane, kapag naman sinabing polarized light, it vibrates in only single plane. So, do we understand what is the difference by unpolarized light and polarized light? So, when we convert unpolarized light, we use polarizer to make it polarized. For example, like, ang example dyan is yung, we use sunglasses para ma-convert yung sunlight para sa ma-convert siya sa polarized light para ano. So, yan. So, let's proceed to the types of polarization. There are three types of polarization. First is the linear polarization. In linear polarization, the electric field of light is limited in a single plane along with the direction of propagation. It means that linear polarization is the orientation of electromagnetic waves such as light in a single plane. So, the light consistently vibrates in one direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So, this phenomenon occurs naturally with the use of filters or lenses. So, ang application nito is through optics, communication, and spectroscopy. The next one is the circular polarization. So, based from its name, you can already visualize what kind of polarization is. So, circular polarization, as in circular, so when the electromagnetic waves such as light propagates in a circular motion, it is called circular polarization. So, let us read the definition of circular polarization in our presentation. Circular polarization. There are two linear components in the electric field of light that are perpendicular to each other such that their amplitudes are equal, but the phase difference is pi and a half. The propagation of the occurring field will be in circular motion. So as stated earlier, circular polarization, when the light is propagating in a circular motion, it is called circular polarization. So lastly is the elliptical polarization. So if the linear polarization propagates in a linear pattern, circular polarization propagates in a circular pattern. Elliptical polarization propagates in a elliptical pattern. So as stated in our presentation, elliptical polarization, the electric field of light follows an elliptical propagation. So yun nga sabi ko kanina, sa elliptical polarization, the light propagates in elliptical pattern. The amplitude and phase difference between the two linear components are not equal. So, they are not equal yung two linear components niya. Kaya, it forms a elliptical pattern. So, kaya that's why elliptical polarization propagates elliptical pattern.
Now, I am going to discuss one of the method of polarization, which is the polarization by reflection. So, polarization by reflection is a phenomenon where light becomes polarized when it is reflected of a surface. So, when an unpolarized light beam hits a reflective surface, it splits into reflected ray and refracted ray. So the nature of the reflected light depends on the conditions of reflection. It can be completely polarized, partially polarized, and unpolarized. So how the polarization happens? So the incident ray or the unpolarized, the light beam coming towards the reflective surface has vibrations in all possible directions. Then the reflected ray, the polarized, so upon reflection, some components of light are absorbed or scattered, and the reflected light becomes polarized. So this means the light vibrations are restricted to a particular direction. And in refracted ray or in slightly polarized, the part of the light that enters the surface becomes refracted. So while it remains mostly unpolarized, it can be slightly polarized. So as you can see in the diagram, the incident ray strikes the reflective surface at an angle. So some light reflects off the surface and becomes polarized. Then the refracted ray bends as it passes through the surface, but it is slightly polarized. So the dotted vertical line in the diagram shows the normal or a reference perpendicular to the surface. So notice how the reflected ray and refracted ray form distinct paths. So in conclusion, polarization by reflection is an important concept in optics and finds practical applications in areas like sunglasses, camera filters, and glare reduction. By understanding how light behaves upon reflection, we can control and utilize polarization for various technologies. In the previous slide, we talked about polarization by reflection. Now let's look at a more specific case when the reflected light becomes completely polarized. So this happens at a particular angle known as Brewster's angle, which we will explain in detail. So in unpolarized light, if the angle of incidence is 0 degree, the light perpendicular to the surface, or 90 degree, that light parallel to the surface. So the reflected beam remains unpolarized. In intermediate angles, for the other angles of incidence, the reflected beam is only partially polarized. In complete polarization at Brewster's angle, there is one specific angle called the polarizing angle or Brewster's angle, denoted as theta p, at which the reflected light is completely polarized. So at Brewster's angle, the reflected and refracted rays are perpendicular to each other. So mathematically, this condition gives theta p plus 90 degree plus theta p is equal to 180 degree. Simplifying, we get theta is equal to 90 degree minus theta p. So using Snell's law, n is equal to sine theta to sine theta p divided to sine theta sub 2. So n sub 1 or n1 is equal to 1.0 and n2 is equal to n or refractive index of the medium. To substitute for angle, since sine times 90 degree minus theta p is equal to cosine theta p. So the relation becomes, so thus the refractive index of the medium can be found using Brewster's angle. So in conclusion, Brewster's angle is fundamental in optics and has practical applications such as polarizing sunglasses, anti-glare coatings, and optical instruments. Another method of achieving light polarization is through a phenomenon called double refraction or birefringence. So in this process, light passing through certain materials such as crystals, and it splits into two rays. So the rays are the ordinary ray or the O ray and the extraordinary ray or E ray. So extraordinary ray does not follow the usual laws of refraction. Its refractive index and sub E varies depending on the direction of propagation through the crystal. And the ordinary ray follows the usual laws of refraction and travels with a constant speed in all directions. So it is characterized by a refractive index N sub O that remains the same for every direction. So we have also optic axis. So there is a specific direction within the crystal called the optic axis. Along the optic axis, the speeds of the ordinary ray and extraordinary ray are equal. This corresponds to the condition N sub O is equal to N sub E. So in the diagram provided, the crystal is shown as a blue block with the optic axis mark. So when light enters the crystal, it splits into two rays. The ordinary ray, which follows a straight predictable path, and the extraordinary ray, which bends and deviates based on the crystal structure and propagation direction. So the optic axis indicates the direction where both rays travel at the same speed. So this splitting of light rays due to double refraction is unique to certain materials such as calcite and other birefringent crystals. So in conclusion, polarization by double refraction is a fascinating phenomenon that highlights how light interacts differently with materials depending on their optic properties. So this process is widely utilized in various optical technologies and scientific applications.
So, good day. As the continuation of the topic about polarization, here I am to discuss what is polarization by scattering. Polarization by scattering occurs when the light interacts with the particles, then it is scattered in different directions, then the light becomes polarized. So, kapag daw yung unpolarized light is nag-interact sa small particles, then yung light is magiging polarized and magi-scattered siya in different direction. So, halimbawa, think about the sunlight. Yung sunlight, nag-scatter siya in the sky kasi yung sunlight na-hit yung air molecules, then nag-interact sila, kaya nag-scattered, and yung scattered light naman is tinatawag nating polarized, kaya nakikita natin na yung sky is nagiging blue. So for the polarization application, halimbawa is yung sunglasses. So, di ba yung polarized lenses sa sunglasses, it is used or designed to reduce the glare by blocking out the horizontally polarized light. So, yung light is often reflected in off surfaces like water and snow, kaya nagkokos siya ng glare. Pero yung polarized lenses naman, it only allows to pass through in a vertically polarized light. Tapos yung vertically polarized light, it helps to reduce the glare and also it improve the visibility of the sunglasses. So, for the next polarization applications, we have stress analysis in plastics. So, yung polarized filter na ginagamit sa plastics ay it perform stress analysis test. So, kapag yung polarized light nag-pass through the plastic object, then yung stress pattern niya, mag-create yun ng variations sa polarization of the light. So, yung variation naman na yun yung mag-o-observe as dark patterns ba siya na nakakatulong para ma-determine yung stress dun sa plastic object. So, yung information na yun, it is help to ensure the integrity and safety sa paggamit ng plastic products, lalong-lalo na sa mga industries. So, the other polarization application is 3D movies. So, 3D movies utilize polarized light in creating illusions of depth. So, sa 3D movies, merong dalawang images na nakikita natin sa screen. So, yung dalawang images na yon is polarized and nag-i-scattered sila in different directions. Usually, they scattered in horizontally and vertically. So, kapag naman sa 3D movies, meron silang pinapagamit na special glasses with lenses na kung saan yung glasses with lenses is polarized. So, pag ginamit natin yon, it allows one images dun sa dalawang image na yon. It allows one images na nakikita ng ating mata. So, pag ginamit natin yon, it creates perceptions and it allows the viewers to see the movie in 3D. So, So for more polarization application, we have differentiating transverse and longitudinal waves. So polarization is one of a property of a transverse waves dahil transverse waves, it oscillate perpendicular to the direction of propagation, while the longitudinal waves naman, it oscillate parallel to the direction of propagation. So, yung polarization can be used between those two types of waves. So, for example, yung light waves is a transverse, and yung polarization niya can be manipulated by using filter. So, kapag transverse waves, kapag ang polarization niya is namamanipula, ginagamitan siya ng filter. So, kapag naman sinabing sound waves, ito ay longitudinal and cannot be polarized. Other polarization application is infrared spectroscopy. So, infrared spectroscopy is a technique that used to identify and used to analyze molecules by studying absorption and emission of infrared radiation. So ginagamitan siya ng polarized infrared light para ma-enhance yung sensitivity and selectivity ng analysis na kung saan nakokontrol doon yung polarization ng infrared light. So, papasok dito ang seismology. So, polarization is used in seismology to study earthquakes kasi, di ba, when earthquakes occur, dito nagge-generate ang seismic waves na kung saan ang seismic waves ay nagta-travel sa earth. So, yung seismic waves is polarized, meaning yung vibration ng seismic waves is naka-align siya sa specific direction na kung saan ang mga seismologists ay ina-analyze yung polarization ng seismic waves para magkaroon sila ng insights about the source of the earthquake. So, for further information, seismologists understand the earthquake hazards and developing early warning systems using polarization. So, for the last polarization application is chirality of organic compounds. So, chirality, it refers to molecules, property of molecules having a non-superimposable mirror images. So, ang chiral molecules, it can rotate the plane of polarization of a polarized light. So it measure the angle of rotation, kaya nadadetermine ng scientist ang chirality of compound and yung specific mirror image nito. So, yung chiral molecules ay